Hello, I'm Sebastian Andrew, and today I'm going to talk more about the Tin Hat Societies. Now, if you've watched any of my videos on TikTok, you know they've been a subject of conversation of late. Um, right now, they're up in arms, basically with a "I told you so" attitude, because the FBI has boarded the Dolly in part of an investigation to see why the Dolly lost power, why the Dolly left port if it knew it was in trouble, and why the Dolly hit the bridge. So they're all like, well, see, now we told you so. Now the government's getting into it. They believe that something is wrong. Guys, something was wrong from the beginning. But like I said, they're all into "I told you so," that this was an attack, a terrorist attack. Okay, if it was a terrorist attack, why did the pilot Mayday? Why did he warn people that he had no control over his ship? Why did he warn them to stop the traffic? Well, he didn't. He called the controllers and told them he was in trouble, and the controllers stopped the traffic. Now, admittedly, it can be looked on as an attack because it closed a port, a major port. But wouldn't an attack mean more if there were more lives lost? That's what terrorists do usually, is try to wipe out as many of their enemies as they possibly can. Now, it may sound mean from me to be speaking this way. Six men lost their lives. So there was loss of life, and there was damage to families, and there was damage done to the port, but they have dug a side channel where smaller ships can get through, not the big container ships, not yet. And I'm not trying to be dark. I'm trying to be informative. So it's that. It's just I can't do it the way the old news men used to do it, like Walter Cronkite. He could give a report as flat-faced as one could give. Um, it had to be something truly devastating to get a reaction out of him. I remember watching him as I was growing up. Um, and surely he would be rolling in his grave over the way news is done now. But that's the way of things. So we have the Tin Hat Societies now all going, see, we were right, but you weren't. This is part of the government doing its job. The FBI is following up to see what it can find. Yes, the National Transportation Safety Board is doing its job too. But if you have more agencies working at it, you can find different aspects, different perspectives of the problems. And that's the thing. That's one thing I keep bringing up is perspective. This is why when something happens and the police are brought in, if there's a large group of witnesses, they will try to get each witness's statement as best they can. Now, each witness will likely give a different story. slightly different, majorly different, somewhat. Something they will say, something they will see, something they observed, something they noticed is different from the person standing next to them, standing across the space, whatever. It's going to be a different perspective. And that is where you find bits of truth. Is you put all the different perspectives together like a puzzle. This piece fits here, and this piece fits there, and this piece fits, and it comes together into a picture that may or may not make sense. It's like when they started taking pictures of Mars, or if we go closer, the moon. When they had the early satellites up and they were taking pictures, close pictures of the moon, and they were putting the pictures together. I mean, there was a show, it was on National Geographic, about Mars. And they talked about the pictures, the early pictures, were just that. It was bits and pieces, and they had to piece it together like a puzzle to make sense of it. And eventually it made sense, and they looked at it and went, oh. And now we have, the rover down there running around, running into rocks. But it's getting a closer picture. It's getting a better look at things. So that's what they're doing. That's what the different agencies are doing. They are looking at the puzzle in front of them and putting the pieces together. Now, hopefully, I don't see this happening, but hopefully the two agencies will talk to each other and get to look at their puzzles with other perspectives. It's one of the problems of the U.S. government agencies is they tend to not talk to each other. And I've always found something wrong with that. I mean, it doesn't even have to be the federal government. If you think about state governments, state agencies, even city agencies rarely talk to each other. So the stories that they're getting, the perspectives they're getting, are sometimes flawed because not all the information is there. So like I said, hopefully these agencies that are looking into this crash will come together and put their puzzles next to each other or on top of each other and go, oh, we didn't see that. So we'll see. We'll see what comes of it. And I will keep my aluminum bunny ears in hand, and I will talk about the Dinat societies, and I will hopefully make you think a little and smile a little and enjoy the rantings of an old man with a weird mind. Improper perspectives. That's one of my lines. Weird thoughts and improper perspectives. Well, improper simply because it's not what you would normally encounter. And you can look forward to many discussions, many ways of my informing you with improper perspectives. And I hope you come back for more. Good day.